I've really got to stop doing these right after I get out of the shower, and it's 3:15 in the morning. So apologies if I'm a little slow for this first episode, but I'm just gonna start right at the beginning. Genesis, the beginning. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of like my alter ego. I have two tattoos on the back of my arms. Stands for RG. The G is for Genesis. Um, won't get into that too much because that's more of a me thing, and this is like a Bible thing. All right, so Genesis chapter 1, the beginning. Let me adjust this just a tiny bit so you're not looking at nothing but my wall for the whole thing. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault, and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, and days, and years, and let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living thing with which the water teems, and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful, and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. A lot to unpack, and that's just the first chapter and the first three verses of the second chapter. The things that really stick out to me, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. I mean, that's why I have that question up there. Why do we have such a hard time comprehending nothing? For me, That's been one of the most difficult things I've ever thought about. Is nothing. I mean, before we were here, before everything that we see around us, there was absolutely nothing. There was just God, and He just created everything. I don't know if this is something that other people struggle with, but I have. So it's it's kind of scary to not be able to think about something in a way that you understand it. But yeah, I mean, it just, to me, that also just speaks to how like great it is that we can't comprehend it. I don't know. It might be a little confusing. Again, 3:18 in the morning. The other kind of thing that I wanted to point out, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, but he said in verse 26, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." And then later on in verse 27, he says, "So God created mankind in His own image." Now, I believe that that was a reference to the Trinity, and then also that, three in one. That's another thing that's kind of hard to comprehend, is how can God be three, but also just one? You have Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but just in our human minds, it's difficult to think like that. Excuse me. Male and female, He created them. That one's pretty standard. And then, yep, He pretty much says that like all the animals are for, where was it? So that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all wild animals. So we pretty much have, control over all the animals. And He gave everything that has the breath of life in it. He gives every green plant for food. So yeah, I don't know. Thoughts, comments, questions, corrections if I said something that somebody knows to not be right. I welcome it all. Yeah, I'm not going to go too in depth with what I think just for the first one. But yeah, I hope this is the start of something I can do for a long time. And I promise my hair will be better going forward, hopefully. All right. Thanks for watching.